Slowly, let us start our discussion. So, we have been discussing many interesting topics over past few days in Tableau. So, we'll continue in the same direction. And then we'll try to discuss some more topics which are going to help us in our analysis. So we'll try discussing them today. So yesterday, if you see, in the last section of our course, we have seen how to integrate with your R. So I wanted to show you how an error in your Tableau is going to look like. So if you see, this is how your error is going to look like. Expected profit. So it is showing in red color. That means there is some error with this calculated field. There is some error with our calculated field. And then if you also look at here, there is an exclamation mark. So because we are not connected to R, that is the reason why we are getting this error. So this is how your errors are going to look like. Just for sake of information, we can understand this. Now, let us discuss some new concepts. Let us try to understand. So we are here, and I wanted to show you just 1 second. So I wanted to discuss with you some concepts. Okay. So let us start with one visualization. For that, I will have to connect to one data source. So let us try to connect to this data source, build a house. So connect, build a house is a Excel file. Click on build a house here. And now this is the data that we have. We have category, we have start date, we have start date, we have duration. So now, what is that we are going to create is Gantt chart we are going to create. So Gantt chart is nothing but it is going to give you a list of events against a timeline first, list of events. So when you plot it, you will understand this, how it is going to work. So bring your category onto your row shelf. So we have category, put it onto your row shelf, and then bring your start date onto your column shelf. So start date, put it onto your column shelf. Okay, so far so good. We have this. And then right click on date. Arrange it as per exact value. So right click on your date. You can select exact value here, exact date. So now you have this. Then you can put your duration onto your size shelf. So put your duration onto your size shelf. So we have this. And then what you can do, try to sort your category. So we have seen and sort as minimum. So you see now everything in the background, it has been sorted for us in a sequence. Everything has been sorted. Now what you can do, you can change this to entire view here, and you can add some colors, put your category onto color shelf. I have my colors foundation walls, and then I can put my start date onto my label shelf, and then I can select exact date. So now if you see carefully, Gantt chart is giving you information in a sequence. So whenever you're trying to build a house, you are supposed to follow this sequence first. So whenever you want to build a house, you have to start from foundation first, followed by walls, followed by roof, followed by windows and doors, followed by electric and plumbing works, electricity and plumbing works, followed by painting, followed by last flooring. So this is a sequence, what you are supposed to follow. So this is how you are supposed to create your Gantt chart. So it gives you the timeline of events first. You are going to get timeline of events. So save your work, whatever we are doing, you can save it. And then you can call this as Gantt chart first. So this is the first visualization, what we have seen. And then we'll come back to some more visualizations later. Okay, I have all these visualizations, what we can discuss. But let us try to understand the concept of the reference lines first. So reference lines are used for benchmarking first. Reference lines are used for benchmarking. So now let us try to apply this concept of reference lines. Create a new worksheet and I will explain you how this is going to work. I can rename this as reference lines. So now I'm connecting to my sample superstore. And then I'm going to put my sales onto my row shelf. I can put my subcategory onto my column shelf. So now I have this, I can rotate my label. So this is the first thing what we are supposed to do. Then you can right click here and you can say add a reference line. So what is the benchmark? So here this window is going to open first. This window has opened for us. So now what is that we can understand from this window is you have to select what is the scope of your reference line. I'm going to select entire table. So select entire table here. Okay, you have this reference line here. This is the benchmark. Now, how do you want to create this line? Whether you want to create this line at average or you want to create this line at median, maximum, minimum. All these options you can select. So for now, we are going to leave it as it is at average. And then you can go to tooltip here and select custom. And then I can select my average here. And then I can say, I want my, okay. let me say this. I want to have my computation. I want to give my value. Okay, I want these things. Click on OK. Now what is happening? You are only able to see average and you are able to see what is the value here. Now go to edit and then field label. Is it changing anything? So let us give custom. Okay, this is fine. I want to give my computation here. I want to give my value here. So I have this. Click on OK. Okay, you have to go to label and then you have to change this to custom. And then this is the value what you're supposed to give. Click on OK. So now this is your reference line, what you have to do. So now with this reference line, you can understand what are the subcategories that have performed well compared to this reference line. You have chairs, sales are more than average value. You have copiers and fax, sales are more than average value. You have office machine, sales are more than average value. Similarly, storage and organization, tables, telephones and communication. So in this manner, you can clearly understand that what sales categories have performed well for us compared to this benchmark. So this is called as reference lines for us. So now what I can do, I can change this benchmark. Okay, now we have seen average reference lines here. So I can go here and I can say remove reference line. This is gone. Again, add a reference line for us. And now I want to select entire table. I want to select maximum. So you see, there is a reference line at maximum value. And then also label I want to change. I want to make it computation. I want to make it value. So this is the maximum value. So now we have created a reference line at this maximum value for us, office machines. Like this, I can add another reference line and I can create at minimum value. Go to label, change it to custom. Here you have computation and value for us. Click on OK. So you have created a reference line at this minimum value for us. So in this manner, I can create many reference lines. I can use them for benchmarking. Okay. I can also create a reference line. At my average value, I can create computation and value. So we have three reference lines now. What we have created. So now what more you can do is, this you have created reference line across the entire table for us. This is the entire table. Now I can also create with respect to panes. So what is a pane? Let us try to understand. So save your work and then put your sales onto your row shelf. Then put your subcategory onto your column shelf and then rotate the label. And now what you can do, you can add your category here. So where is my category? Put your category here. So now I can go here and I can say add reference line and I can select per pane option. Per pane is there. So now if you select per pane, you see in the background it is giving us for every single category what is the average sales. So category wise I can compare different category wise. I can do this. what is the sales I can understand different category wise. So I can now go here and I can select label, change this value to computation, change it to value. So now you can understand. So per category, what is the average sales and which subcategories are able to achieve more sales than this average value. So in this manner, you can understand. So this is per pane option, what you can also explore per pane. Now, what more you can do is, I can remove my reference lines and I want to say add a reference line, and there is an option called as band. So what is a band? If you see, you can create a reference band like this. These are called as reference bands for us. This is the maximum value, this is the minimum value. So now I can set my band. I want to set my band from maximum, okay, and then I want to set it to minimum. So I have this band. Now select label, custom, select computation, value. So this is a maximum value. And you can also select what is the minimum value. Band to minimum value, computation, custom, computation and value you can select. So now this is a reference band, what we have created. So first time we have seen reference lines. Two options are there, table option and pane option is there. And now we are seeing a reference bands. So you can decide what is the band between. You can select whether it should be maximum to minimum, or it should be maximum to average, or maximum to some constant value. Whatever you want, you can select. This is called as a reference bands first. So I can say this as reference bands, and then I can also say put your sales onto your row shelf, put your subcategories onto your column shelf, and swap it. Okay. Now if I go here and if I select add a reference line, now distribution is also there. So I can set up a reference distribution first. Now select entire table here, and then you have the option of selecting what is the computation that you want. So if I want quantiles, so it is going to divide my data into lower quartile, median value, upper quartile. So if I want percentiles, I can select what percentiles I want. So if I say create a reference distribution between 10 percentile and 90 percentile. So you see, it has created a different reference distribution for us between 10 percentile and 90 percentile. These are all the subcategories which are falling in this region for us. So now you can go back and edit. You can edit your reference lines if you want to use something else, quantiles, and you can simply select quantiles here. And you can also change the lines if you want formatting lines. So you get dotted lines like this. And then what is the color that you want to fill? Okay. I can select any color in this manner. And I can click on OK. So you see, in this manner, you can create your reference distributions first. So all you have to do is click on edit reference lines and you can do this. So you have to select these options for filling. So now you see fill above, fill below. It is filling these colors. Symmetric. Okay, I said symmetric. Now it has filled this color for us. Click on OK. So this is how you can also create your reference distributions for us. If you want to benchmark your subcategories at certain levels, you can always do this. So right click and you can select edit reference lines and then label. I can change it to custom, computation and value. So now you know what is the lower quartile, what is the median, what is the upper quartile. So these subcategories are performing very badly. Pens, rubber bands, scissors and rulers, labels, all these are not even achieving lower quartile of sales. So they are performing very badly for us. So like this, you can do your analysis. So this is called as reference distributions first. So we can call this as reference distributions. So I can rename this. I can call it as reference distribution. And you can save your work. Okay, so we have seen reference lines. We have seen reference bands and then reference distributions. So all these things you can apply in your analysis. You can do this. And now I want to show you another distribution for us, which is called as box and whisker plot. So let us try to create this box and whisker plot for us. So we are connected to our sample superstore dataset. So far, so good. And now we are going to try and create a box plot for what is the discount being offered across different regions and segments. So now rename this. I'm going to call it as box plots. Okay. So now we want discount here. So go to your discount and then change this aggregation. I want to change this aggregation to average. So I have average discounts. And now I can change these values to percentages if you want. That depends on your choice. You can do that. And then across different regions and segment. So you have region, put your region here. Okay. Add some text if you want. And now let's convert this to your percentages. Okay. So I have my percentages here. Okay. Let us keep one decimal point. Let us change this axis also. Okay. Okay, now I have my percentages here. So good job, what we have done. And then I can go to show me panel and I can select this box and whisker plot. So you see this box and whisker plot, it is not that great what we have created, but put your region onto your column shelf. And then what you are going to do is you can select analysis, uncheck this option, and you are going to get your box and whisker plot. So this is called as box and whisker plot for us. So box and whisker plot is going to give you information about some important points. What is your median discount? What is your upper quartile discount value? What is your lower quartile discount value? All this information it is going to give us. So now if you hover your mouse, So all this information it is giving. What is the median discount offered in central region? 5%. What is the upper quartile discount, upper hinge? 8%. What is the lower quartile discount? It is the 2%. Okay. What is the upper whisker? What is the upper limit discount? So 16% was the maximum discount which was offered in the central region for us. And any observation which is lying beyond this range of box and whisker plot, which is lying beyond this, we are going to call that as outlier. So any observation which is lying beyond your box and whisker plot, it is called as outlier space. So remember this point. So there have been some cases where discount offered was more than 16%. 17% was there, 21% was there, 25% was also offered. So this is what we have to understand. So this is a box plot what we have just created, which is telling us what is the discount which has been offered across different regions for us. Across East region, okay, across South region, across West region. Now you can also put your segment if you want. We have something called a segment. Okay. So now you see across different segments, across consumer segment, corporate segment, home office segment, small business segment. So you can understand across different segments, what is the discount which has been offered. By different regions. Okay, what is the discount offered by different regions across different segments? Consumer segment, corporate segment, home office segment, small business segment. So in this manner, you can create your box plots first. So this is a good exercise for you. So you can also practice, you can connect to our sample superstore and you can always do this exercise. And you can also format these box plots. You can say format and you can change modern to glass and you can change the border that you want a thick border. Okay. And how do you want the whiskers? So in this manner, I can make some changes to my box and whisker. Okay. So if you don't like it, you can always go back and you can save your work. So this is an example of your box plot. Box plot will also give you information about your outliers, your upper limit, lower limits, your median values, your upper quartile, lower quartile values. All this information it is going to give. So box plot, you can call it as a 5-point chart first. It is called as a 5-point chart. Box plot information. So now we can save your work and then you can use this for your analysis. Box plot is another visualization. Now, let us see something else, which is called as forecasting first. So how do you understand forecasting? How can you forecast using Tableau first? Let us try to understand. So simple example is take your sales, put your order date onto your column shelf, and now convert this into a continuous line chart. That is what we have seen. Convert this and drill down to month-wise information. So far, so good. Add some text also here for your analysis. So add some text for our analysis. And then you can right click here and there is an option called as forecast for us. So what you are going to do, show forecast. So now you see it has created a forecast. So this is a forecast. So in Tableau, without doing anything, we have just right click and we have created one forecast. So dark blue ones are your actual values. And then light blue color ones are your estimated values, or you can call them as predicted values. So dark blue ones are your actual values and light blue ones are your predicted values. So now if you go here, if you select forecast and if you select forecast options, this window is going to open for us. So now here you can decide what should be the length of your forecast, whether you want to forecast for next 13 months, you want to forecast for exactly 1 year. So you can select these options. Forecast exactly for 1 year. And then I'm saying don't ignore any of the months. Consider all the months. And here I'm selecting forecast model automatic. So instead of automatic, you have custom. So if you select custom here, then you are free to apply different forecasting models. So there are different forecasting models for us that you can apply. So what are those forecasting models? You can decide whether you want to use a trend model. So it depends on your choice, whether you want to use a seasonality model. So now if you see, we are not having any trend. We are not having any seasonality in our data. So what is the meaning? It is only having level component in your data. So it is just the average values, what you are getting as your forecast. So this is not a great forecasting model. So this is what we have to understand. It is not a great forecasting model for us. So how you can improve this model now? So you can simply say trend, additive trend. If you say, now you see it is slightly better. It is able to at least capture the direction of your forecast. Now, apart from this, what you can do is, you can also select some seasonality in your model. So I can say seasonality here, I can say additive seasonality. So now you see, the forecast is more better for us. You have additive seasonality model. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on OK. And then we can right click here and you can say forecast, describe forecast. So now if you see all this information we are able to get. What is the sum of sales? What is the time period it has taken? What is the measure? Forecast forward 12 months from January 14 to December 14. No periods ignored, 12-month cycle. So all this information you have. The quality of your model also it is giving. So quality of your model is an okay model for us, what you have developed. So this information you are able to get now. Now close this information. Then what you can do, right click and you can go to forecast. You can select forecast options. Now instead of additive seasonality, go for multiplicative seasonality. Okay, click on OK. And then, so you're making your forecast from January to December 14 and you are using all your data starting from January 2010 going up to December 2013. You are using all your data first. Okay. Now, if you right click and select forecast, if you select describe forecast, now what is happening? So now the quality of your model is still okay. It is not great for us. So in this manner, you can try out different models and you can decide which model is working out for us. So now you can come out of this and you can say forecast, forecast options, multiplicative, I'm using. Click on OK. Now right click and select forecast options, describe forecast. So in this manner, you can mix and match different models and you can try and forecast your data. You can forecast your sales. Now I can export this data also. So what I want to do is, if I plan to export this data, I can right click here and I can select copy my data. And then I can open my Excel file. So if I have an Excel file here, I can say new Excel file. I can open this. And then I can paste my data. So you see all the details I have. So what is the sales? So these are all my estimated values. From January 14 onwards, these are all the estimated values till December 2014. Okay. So this is how you can export your data from Tableau. Whatever forecast you have made, you can export your data like this. So it is also going to give you your interval estimates along with your predicted values. It will also give you what is the maximum, what is the minimum value. So what is the lower limit? What is the upper limit of sales it is going to give? Okay. What are your intervals? That also you are going to get. So that is the idea. So in this manner, you can export. So this is your lower limit. This is your upper limit. So forecasting is a interesting topic for us. So you can apply these concepts in your analysis. So now if you go to your analytics tab, you can also have something called as forecasting. So we can always use this option. So save your work, then create a new worksheet. Okay. Go to analytics. So we don't have anything here. Sales. Put your sales onto your row shelf. Put your order date onto your column shelf. And then convert this into continuous line chart for us. And drill down your data. Month wise. Go to analytics tab, forecast. So now you see it has forecasted sales for us. Okay. Now in the same manner, I can put my profits. Okay. So you see I have my profits here. And then it is forecasting my profits also. So you see, these are my profits forecast. These are my sales forecast. I can add some text. Okay. Now, So now you see it is better. Now clearly you are able to understand. This is your profit forecast. This is your sales forecast. So in this manner, you can experiment. You can try to forecast what is your sales, what is your profits, all these things you can do. Okay. Now I can say annotate one point. Okay. So now you see it is going to give you this data. I said annotate one point. So you can annotate some points like this. Annotate means label some points. So month of order date is September 2014. This is the sales. Okay. So if I want, I can remove this. I can also annotate here. I can say annotate a point. So this is my annotation. So October 2014. It is showing us the profit. So this is how different options are there in Tableau, what you can use, and you can work out some examples. So for the first time, we have used this analytics pane for us. First time we have used our analytics pane. So it is a good exercise what we have done. We have used our forecasting options. Now, I can remove this. I can try annotate area. Okay. Forecast for sales. So you see, I can just move these things. I can add some labels like this. Forecast for profits. So this is called as annotation for us. So my January 2014 forecast, March 2014, May, July, August, all these months I have my forecast. Okay. I can add some text. These are all my forecast. Okay. So you can try this out on your desktops or laptops, whatever you are using, and you can create this forecast. So you can call this as forecasting time series data. Okay. So now, so far we have seen all these concepts. We started from Gantt charts today. We've seen reference lines. We've seen reference bands, reference distributions, box plots. Then we have started with our forecasting and forecasting time series data. Some examples we have seen. Now, what more we can see is you can create a new worksheet, and then let us discuss the concept of scatter plot first. So scatter plot, you can understand the correlation between your variables when you create a scatter plot. So for creating a scatter plot, you should have continuous data, sales and profits. So now if I go to analysis, if I uncheck this option, aggregate measures, then it is going to create this scatter plot. So you have sales and profits. So this is my scatter plot. I have sales on my x-axis and I have profits on my y-axis. So this is a scatter plot what we can create. And now I can click on this axis. I can say format axis. Instead of format, let me go to edit axis is supposed to start from 0 for us. So this is what we are saying. Axis should start from 0. So now automatically, if you see my axis, so now what is it you can So now what is that you can understand is there is a positive relationship. There is a positive relationship between your variables, sales, and profits for us. So we have a positive relationship here between sales and profits. Now what I can do is I can add some trend lines to understand. I can say trend lines, show trend lines. So this is a trend line, this is the equation. So with the help of this trend line, you are able to understand what is the equation between your sales and profits. So how you can use your sales of a company and how you can predict your profits. This piece of information you are able to understand from your scatter plot for us. So this is an interesting piece of information what we are able to get. We are able to understand how you can use your sales and how you can predict your profits. Correct. It may not be a linear trend for us, but it is just an indication of how the relationship is going to exist. Because if you see the R square value is very less, it is 0.13. So it is not a great equation what you have developed between your sales and profits. So now what I can do, I can go here and I can say edit all trend lines. So now I have different options here. I can select a logarithmic model. So if I select a logarithmic model, it is even worse. R square value is actually decreasing to 0.07 for us. So it is not an advisable model. Again, you can go to edit all trends. You can select exponential model. So exponential model, this is also not great. You are not able to improve your R square value. It is still 0.14 for us. So now you can see edit all trend lines. You can select power model. So now if you see R square value has gone up to 0.45. So the trend was not linear trend for us. So it was a power model for us. What we are using, and this is the equation which is capable of predicting your profits using sales in a much better fashion. So that is how you have to experiment with different trend lines, what you have here. You have power model, you have polynomial, all these things you can try out. And you can work out which equation is going to suit your model in this manner. So now I'm going to switch back. I can see describe trend model. So it is going to give me all this information. What is the model? Okay, what is the formula it has used for power model? Okay, what is the degrees of freedom? What is the R square value? What is the P value? So all these things. What are the coefficients? So all this information you are going to get about your model. So now I'm going to switch back to my linear model, and then I can put more data here. I can simply put my product category onto my color shelf. So now I have different categories here. My furniture category I have in blue color. This is my office supplies in orange color. This is my technology. So now I have created my trend lines for 3 categories. What are those categories? Furniture, office supplies, and also technology. So in this manner, you can work. So this is the information, what you're supposed to have about your scatter plots. So scatter plots can help you establish a relationship between 2 variables. Here we are using profits and sales. So I can call this as my scatter plot. So we can save our work in this manner, and we can use it for your analysis. Now, let us try to create one visualization which is called as bullet chart first. So bullet chart is also used for comparison between your actual profits and budgeted profits. So connect to your coffee chain data source we have here. Create a new sheet. You can call it as a bullet chart. And then you can put your budgeted profits and also actual profits first. And now I can go here and I can select bullet graphs. So now you see this is a bullet chart for us. So bullet chart is going to give you what is the budgeted profit and what is the actual profit. So it is going to give you information about what is the budgeted profit, what is the actual profit. Now actual profit is more than your budgeted profit. So overall your business is doing well, your coffee chain business. Now if you want to analyze further, you can put your market onto your row shelf. And now if you see, the markets which are doing well are these markets. Because if you observe, budgeted profit is $92,000, but actual profit is $93,000. So central market is doing well. So central market is doing well for us. Similarly, if you look at your east market. So east market also, if you put your mouse, it is telling us that budgeted profit is less than your actual profit. So east market is also doing well. Actual profit is exceeding your budgeted profits. What about south market? South market is not doing well. Because if you put your mouse here, you will understand that budgeted profit is more. Actual profit is less. So south market is not doing well. And also west profit is also not that great. So south and west are not doing well for us, whereas central and east are doing well for us. So in this manner, you can dig deeper, you can put your dimensions and you can try and understand and compare your actual profits with your budgeted profits with the help of your bullet chart. So in this manner, you are supposed to analyze your data. So you have different types of charts here. Most of them we have seen 24 charts that you can use, and you can try and explore your data, try and understand your data better. So that is what is required. So all the instructions are there here. You can simply follow along. You can create different types of charts. So for example, you have another chart called bar and bar chart. So let us try this out, bar and bar chart. So save your work. So let us connect to our sample superstore for this. And then put your subcategory into your columns. Okay, and then put your columns, put your sales into your row shelf. So I have my sales in my row shelf. Now change this label, rotate the label for us. And then drag your profits and put it onto your canvas. So what we are going to do, drag your profits, put it like this. Put it onto your axis. Okay, you have profits here, you have sales here. And then go to all and select bar graph. So go to all here and select bar chart. And now go to profits, select the size of your profit bar. Okay. So this is another custom visualization, what you can create. It is called as bar and bar chart. So it is another visualization how you can create and explore your data. So we have profits bars, we have also sales bars. So save, and you can rename this as your bar and bar chart first. So let us take a break here for 10 minutes, and then we are going to come back and we'll continue our discussion. Take a break for 10 minutes. So now let us continue our discussion. So far we have seen good amount of custom charts. We have seen different 24 types of charts, what we have seen. So now let us try to connect to another file. So now let us discuss our maps. Okay, so far we have not seen maps. Maps visualizations we have not seen. So this is interesting. How to create different types of maps and all. I will explain you. Slowly we'll discuss these topics. So anything with this globe icon that you see here, they are going to indicate our geographic fields. Anything that you see, city, country, state, all these are our geographic fields. So now what you can do, simply first drop your country, put it onto your detail shelf. So now you can understand we are here. We are in this country, United States. Now what you can do is you can put your state. Put your state here. So now you are able to get information about your different states in US. Okay, so always, whenever you are working with maps, you have to follow something called as hierarchy first. So follow this hierarchy. Country followed by state, followed by city. So now, let us try to drop our city also. So if you drop your city below your state, okay, so now this is giving us information about all the different cities in USA. So this map is called as symbol map for us. So this map is called as symbol map. So this is a very simple visualization what we have created. We have dropped your country, followed by state, followed by city onto your detail shelves. Now, let us try to create another symbol map first. So what we are going to do, follow the same instructions what we have just seen now. Put your country first and then put your state. Okay, so far so good. We have our symbol map. Now what we are going to do is put your sales onto your size shelf. Now increase the size. So what is that we can understand here is, depending upon the size of your circle, you can understand which state is doing well in terms of sales. Larger the size of your circle, the better that state is doing in terms of sales. Now California is doing well in terms of sales for us. So this is California, this is Washington, Texas is doing well in terms of sales. New York is doing well. So you can understand what states are doing well in terms of sales. So this is another example of your symbol map. Another example of your symbol map. Now, what we can do here is we can add our profits on your color. So now what is happening? You are controlling the size of your circle. You are controlling the size of your circle by our sales, and then you're also controlling the color of your circle by using profits. So now if you see Texas, it is in brown color for us. So that means it is not doing well in terms of profits for us. It is in losses. Similarly, Florida, if you see, it is in losses for us. It is not doing well in terms of profits. So like this, you can mix and match your dimensions, your measures, and you can create these kind of symbol maps for us. So this is also another variant of symbol map. Now, let us try something else. Put your country onto your detail shelf. Put your state. And now increase the size of your circles. So far, fine. Now put your sales onto your size shelf. This is what we have done just now. Now change this type of chart to pie chart. Okay, I've changed this into a pie chart now. And then if I add my category. Okay. So now what is happening? If you put your category onto your color shelf, you are able to create a pie chart on your maps. So instead of having your circles, you are able to create a pie chart. So now you can study what is the sales with respect to each and every category that I have here. So what is the sales in California for furniture? What is the sales in California for technology? What is the sales in California for office supplies? So I can study different category wise. Different category wise, I can study what is the sales across different states. So it is very simple what we are doing here. So I'll show you again what we have done. We have simply put our country. Then we have put our state. Okay, increase the size. And then we have put our city, not city. We have put sales onto your size shelf. Increase the size. Okay, so far so good. And then we have changed this to a pie chart for us. And then we have placed our category onto your color shelf. So this is what we have done. So this is a symbol pie chart. You can call this as a symbol pie chart. Now, what is my question is? My question, if I also want to see profits on this, how can I see? That is the question. If I also want to see my profits, how can I see that? So let us try to understand. First, rename the sheet. So I've created the sheet. Now, if I want to see profits also, the logical answer will be simply drop your profits onto color sheet. But now what is happening? Category wise sales is disappearing. So I want this category wise sales, and also I want profits to be displayed. So what is the logic? How can I do this? So that is called as combined maps for us. It is called as combined maps. That is what we are going to do. Now, create a new worksheet. Put your country. Put your state. And then increase the size. This is what we have done. Put your sales onto your size shelf. Okay, so far okay. Increase the size. Then put your profits. Not profits. Change this into a pie chart for us. And put your category. Okay. So far what we have done, we have just repeated those steps. There is no change. Whatever I have done previously, the same thing we have done here. Now, I'm going to put my latitude is there, right? Put your latitude here. So you have two maps. Now go to the first latitude. Go to this map here, what you're seeing. And then I want to remove all these things. Okay. I don't want all these things. I want to see here profits. Put your profits onto color shelf. And then change this to map here. Okay. So what I have done from automatic, I have changed this to map. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to combine these two maps. I'm going to combine these two maps together. So how can I combine my two maps? So I can right click here and I can select dual axis. So now you see, when I say dual axis, automatically you are able to see category wise sales. And then you are also able to see our profits in the background. So we are able to see category wise sales and also profits. So how is it possible for us? This is possible because of your combined maps concept. So you are combining your symbol maps. We are combining our symbol maps with our field maps. And we are able to create this visualization. That is what we are doing. Okay. So now let us save our work. And I can call this as my symbol maps. So far good exercises we have seen: symbol maps, different types of symbol maps, pie charts, symbol maps, and then combined maps we have seen. So change this. This should be combined maps. Okay. And now let us create another worksheet. And then you can rename this as field maps. So how to create your field maps is, I can go to my country, put your country on detail shelf, put your state onto your detail shelf, and then I can put my profits onto my color shelf. It becomes a field map for us. It becomes a field map. So all these maps, you are able to create because of this company. So Tableau has tied up with this company, OpenStreetMaps, and it is creating these visualizations for us. Okay, so we are able to use the latitude and longitude values for different countries, for different states, and we are able to create these kind of visualizations. This is called as field map for us. So what we have to understand here is field map is only possible at state level. Field map is only possible at state level. If I bring my city onto my field map, then it is not going to work. If you bring your city, your field map is going to get converted into your symbol map. So you have to understand that it is only possible for us to create these kind of field maps only at your state level. So this is what we have to understand. Only at state level, we are able to create these kind of field maps. Now you can save your work. You can go back and you can save your work. Field map what we have created. Now, there is one concept called as editing unrecognized locations. Okay. So we have something called as editing unrecognized locations. So for that, I'm going to use one map. Okay, one data set we are going to use. Just wait for a few seconds. So we have here details of Maharashtra. So we are connected to this data set called as Maharashtra first. Now, let us put our country onto your detail shelf. So where are we now? We are in India. We are here in this location. And now you can put your state here. So what is happening? It is not able to recognize what is the state. So why this is happening is you have to go and you have to say, edit my locations. Edit my locations. Tableau is not able to understand what is this place, Maharashtra. So now you have to supply one matching location. You have to supply one matching location first. So what is that you are going to do? So before we try to discuss further, it is 8:30. And like always, you can expect the attendance link to be circulated. So please try to fill in your attendance form. And then you can always come back and you can listen to our sessions. So attendance link is there in your chat window. In your chat window. So always fill in the attendance form and then you can always come back and listen to our sessions. Okay, so do that first. Now, So what is that we are supposed to say? We are supposed to edit this location. Okay. So we are supposed to double click on this and we can type Maharashtra. So you see there is a spelling mistake what I made. I wrote Maharashtra, but it is Maharashtra for us. That is a matching location. Click on OK. So now you see Tableau is able to recognize our location. Tableau is able to recognize our location, Maharashtra. So you see, this is the location. Now, put your city. Put your city. So now you see, I have my different cities. So what is happening? These are all the cities that you have. Dhule, Nasik, Mumbai, Pune, Aurangabad, Nanded, Latur, Solapur. All these places it is able to recognize. But one place it is not able to recognize. That is why it is showing unknown for us. So now you have to go and fix this. So you have to say, you have to click on this option, edit locations. Okay. And now it is not able to recognize this place, Buldana. So you have to go and supply one matching location. So double click and start typing Buldana for us. So again, spelling mistake we have made. We have written Buldana, but it should be Buldana first. So now Tableau will understand Buldana is nothing but Buldana first. So now observe, another city is going to get added. So here you have Buldana first. So this is the city. So now it is able to recognize all our cities. So Nagpur, Nanded, Latur, Solapur, Sangli, Pune, Mumbai, Nasik, Dhule, Aurangabad, and Buldana. Kolhapur is here. So this concept is called as editing unrecognized locations. So that is this concept. So this concept is called as editing unrecognized locations. So I can save my work and then I can just rename this topic as editing unrecognized locations. Okay. So it is a good exercise. I'll share this workbook, whatever work we are doing. So you can also use, you can practice, you can experiment with this workbook. All these things you can use. So all these concepts are interesting concepts in maths, what we are discussing. Now, all of you, I hope you have filled in the attendance form. If you have not filled, you can always go back and fill the attendance form and come back. So now there is something called as map layers. So what is this concept of map layers? Let us try to understand. Let us connect to our sample superstore data set. And then put my country. Put my state. Okay, I have this information that's now. And now what you can do is you can simply increase the size. I can go to map here. Okay, and then I have something called as map options. Go here. Close this. Let us go to background layers, figure out what is there. Okay. So now you have reached the right place. So go to maps, go to background layers. And now what you're going to do is, I can change these styles. So this is a light style what I'm having. I can change it to normal. So you see the map layer has changed. Okay. So similarly, I can change my map layers to dark. So I have this dark layer for my maps. Okay. So I can use these different types of visualizations. And then I can change it to streets, outdoors. So you see outdoors, there is a different map layer again. We have a different map layer. Now, I can go here and I can select satellite. Now I have a different layer altogether. So it depends on my choice. Whatever layer I want, I can add on my maps. Okay. So you can experiment from here. Now, I want to change this back to light. Okay, this is my light. The default view. Now you see, I have so many options here. So I can add these layers also. If I select coastline, it is going to add one coastline for us like this. It is going to add one coastline. Okay. So you can so we can add our coastline. So now you see. It has added our coastline. So like this, I can add more layers. Okay. I can add all these options. Terrain. So you see in the background, some terrain has been added. Streets, highways and routes, we are not able to see. So what we are going to do? Zoom in. So zoom into your, and then you can see streets, highways. So now you are able to see your layers, streets, highways, all these things you are able to see. So in this manner, if you zoom into your image, you will be able to see all your layers. So if you zoom out again, these layers will be gone. So if you zoom in, you are going to see your layers. If you zoom out again, layers will be gone. So I can add water labels. Okay, I can add my cities. So you see all cities have been added like this. So it depends on what you're going to do. Zoom in and zoom out. All these layers are going to get added. So zoom out. Okay, this is what you're saying. Zoom in and zoom out. And you can add as many layers as you want. So you can zoom into your image 16 times. And then based on that, you can add as many layers as you want. Okay. So now you can also add your data layers. So you see there are some data layers here. So I can go and I can select add layer based on household income. So based on household medium income, we have added one layer based on this. Based on household median income. So you see all these backward states, they are not having very high income. Montana. Okay. And then you have Idaho. Okay, Nevada. All these states are backward states for us. They are all agricultural states. So that is why we don't have too much of income there. So now you can change your colors also. You can go here, you can change your colors. So now you see, clearly I can understand. These states are backward states. Montana and Idaho. So Montana and Idaho. This is what I can do. Montana and Idaho are backward states. Whereas all these states, if you see on the right hand side, New York, all these places, they are having high income. California, Washington, all these are where you have most of your jobs. So automatically you can expect income levels to be high. So like this, you can select different layers. Okay, based on age, based on what is the per capita income. So based on income also, you can understand these states are all backward states. What you're having, Nevada, Idaho, Montana, all these are backward states for us. Okay, so in this manner, you can add data layers. So at once, you can add only one data layer. If you want to add more than one data layer, you are supposed to create a new visualization and then add more data layers. So you are supposed to create another worksheet and then you are supposed to add these layers. So this is what we have to understand. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you one interesting fact for us. What is it? Is polygon maps. So how to create these polygon maps, you have to understand. Okay. So if you want to create a visualization on non-standard region, okay, for example, parks. If you want to create your visualization on parks, so you have to work on a data set which is going to have values like latitude and longitude for us. So you have to work on a data set which is going to have values like latitude and longitude for us. So only if you have those values, you will be able to work. Okay. So now let us try to connect to one data source. What is the data sources? Go to home. Instead of home, let us try to connect from here. Microsoft Excel. Do we have that? Data set. Select CSV option. Text file. And now you have this data set. National Parks Polygon data set. Okay, so we are going to use this Parks Polygon. So if you click on data, you are working with your latitude and longitude values. You are working with your latitude and longitude values for us. So only if you have these values, you will be able to create your polygon map. Otherwise, it is not possible for you to create your polygon maps. So follow the instructions now, what we are going to do. Okay. So just 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So now drag your latitude and longitude. So you have latitude and you have longitude for us. Okay. So now what is happening? Go. Okay. We are connected to the wrong data set. So latitude and longitude for us. So where are we now? We are in United Kingdom. And this is our location. We are in United Kingdom now. So in United Kingdom, there are some parks. For these parks, we are going to create our visualizations. So that is what you are going to see. Now, bring your park name onto detail shelf. Bring your park name onto detail shelf. So we have all these parks. Cairngorms National Park, the Loch Lomond National Park, Northumberland Lake District, all these national parks we have. Then what you are going to do? Change your mark type to polygon. So change your mark type from here to polygon. So we have changed this to polygon map first. And then put your polygon ID onto detail shelf. Put your polygon ID onto your detail shelf. We are not able to see anything. That is fine. Now what you are going to do? Put your point ID on path shelf. Put your point ID on your path shelf. So now you see, you are able to create your non-standard regions. So these are all the parks. So these are all the non-standard visualizations. What you are able to create. Non-standard regions. Now, let us add some color. Put your park name onto color. So these are all the parks that I have. All the parks. Okay. So all this information I have. So this is called as your polygon maps. What you have created. So we have to use our data set UK National Parks polygon. And you can only create this if you are working with your latitude and longitude values. So these values should be there. Compulsory in our data set. Otherwise, we are not going to work. We will not be in a position to create this polygon maps. So save your work. Save your work. And I can call this polygon maps. So all these things we have seen so. polygon maps. So far, so good. Now, let us connect to our sample superstore. And then you can put your country onto your detail shell, put your state onto your detail shell. Now increase the size of your visualization. And there is an option called as density map for us. So recently, 1-2 years back, they have introduced this density map feature. So what you can do, you can put your profits onto your collection. So now you see, you are able to get a density map first. So put your sales onto section. And then, okay, do one thing. Go to color, change this. So now it is better. So this visualization is called as density map. So darker ones, if you see, these are making good profits for us. Okay. These ones, this is making loss. So Texas is making losses. Texas is making losses for us. And you can understand Washington is doing well in terms of profits. And then you have your California, which is doing well in terms of profits. Okay, and then you have your New York, which is doing well in terms of profits. So this is what we have to understand. So this is a density map. You can create this if it is required, or it is optional for us. Density map. So in this manner, you can create a lot of beautiful visualizations using maps. Now, there is some concept called as custom geocoding first. What is that concept? Custom geocoding. So if you see, here your region, what is this? A region is not a geographic field for us. Okay. A region is not a geographic field. So is there any possibility that we can convert this into a geographic field? Is there any possibility? So we have to custom geocode. So we are going to create a geographic role from states. Okay, so first you have to create a hierarchy. Let us call this hierarchy as location. Okay. So before we do that, let me go to first our region. Okay. And then create a hierarchy called as location first. So we have this location. And now go to states. Okay, and then states I have geographic roles. Okay, I'm going to say create from. Okay. Or let me do it this way. Go to region. Go to create geographic role, create from state. So now if you see, I have created my geographic role for my region from my state. So now you see this icon has changed for us. It has changed to region. So now you can plot this comfortably. You can plot this. How we are going to do it is, first put your country. Always follow the hierarchy. Remove this region from here. It is not required. So put your country, United States, and then put your states Okay. Then now what I'm going to do, observe. Put your region onto your collection. So now what has happened, if you see carefully, I am able to convert my text field, which was previously region, but now you see we are able to convert this into a geographic field first. So this is called as custom geocoding. We have converted your text field into a geographic field. Custom coding. This is the concept. So now you can clearly understand from your states, it is able to identify what are the regions. And it is clearly given us, this is West region, California and all you have. This is your central region. This is your East region, what you have. And this is your South region. Florida and all you have here, Florida. So this concept is called as custom geocoding. Custom geocoding. This is the concept. So it is a very useful concept if you want to convert your field into a geographic field first. So we have converted our region from ABC to globe icon or geographic field first. So these are all very interesting concepts for us that you can use and practice. So with that, let us break for the day here and then continue again our sessions tomorrow. And we are going to discuss our dashboard concepts and we'll discuss some more interesting topics. We'll work with multiple data sets and we'll try to understand how to use them. So till then, take care. Thanks for your time and bye.